In a land long forgotten by time and untouched by war, the village of Unwind lay nestled among pine-wrapped valleys. The people there lived simple lives, farming, mending, sharing stories beside fires, but a long and creeping winter had slowly drained their hope. The wind, once a gentle whisper through the evergreens, had turned still. Not dead, not violent, just utterly still. No birdsong. No rustling. No warmth. Many believed the silence was a curse. Others said the world was simply slowing down, waiting for something, or someone. The elders spoke of a place called the Mountain of Still Winds. It towered beyond the white ridges, where no one dared to climb. They said it held an ember, small and hidden, whose warmth could awaken the season. It wasn't fire in the ordinary sense. It was the warmth of purpose, the slow burn of peace, the kind of heat that melts things from the inside out. Kaelen, the village's quietest soul, was the only one who listened without questioning. He was not young, not old. His presence was like stone, enduring, calm, shaped not by time but by patience. He never laughed loudly, never panicked, and never rushed. When others cried about the stillness, he simply sat beside them until their sorrow softened. One cold morning, Kaelen stood, wrapped himself in a wool cloak, and packed dried roots, flint, and a single carved stone in a leather pouch. The stone bore the sigil of forward motion, a line with no beginning or end, curving eternally forward. No one asked where he was going. They already knew. The path to the mountain was not dangerous in the way stories often tell. There were no monsters, no hidden traps. The danger was silence. The kind of silence that grew heavier with every step, until it wrapped around your thoughts like a wet cloth. Many who tried to reach the summit had turned back, muttering about how the quiet became too loud. Kaelen walked slowly but without pause. His boots broke the snow in steady rhythm. His breath, visible in the cold air, was all the sound he had. On the first night, he lit no fire. Instead, he leaned against a boulder and stared at the stars until sleep took him. On the third day, he crossed the Valley of Echoes, where no voice returned. Even his heartbeat felt distant. Memories surfaced, of loss, of doubts, of frozen moments he'd buried deep. But Kaelen did not run from them. He welcomed them like old friends passing by. He let them walk with him until they grew tired and faded away. Time ceased to matter. Days blurred into a smooth, continuous moment. When his muscles ached, he stopped. When they rested, he moved again. He spoke to no gods, asked for no signs. He simply was, one foot in front of the other, one breath after another. At last, after 7 days, he reached the summit. The wind was motionless. The sky was pale, not stormy, but vast and empty. At the mountain's crown sat a shallow bowl carved into the stone. Inside was the ember, a faint pulse of red light, no larger than a teardrop. Kaelen knelt. He did not reach for it at once. He simply stared, allowing its stillness to mirror his own. And then, as gently as one might lift a sleeping child, he cupped his hands around the ember. It didn't burn. It warmed, not the skin, but something deeper. A peace that settled behind the ribs, like a long-forgotten memory of comfort. He did not cheer. He did not cry. He simply nodded. The walk down was no easier, but Kaelen was changed. Not in body, not in mind, but in presence. The silence no longer pressed in. It moved with him. Trees began to sway. Not from wind, but from the subtle force of returning rhythm. When he returned to their win, spring had not yet bloomed. But it had begun. The frost melted not in puddles, but in drips. The trees wore dew like jewelry. The people greeted him with awe, but he offered no stories, no grand lessons. He placed the ember, still pulsing, into the village hearth. It sparked slowly, then grew into a steady warmth that never blazed, but never died. The villagers slowly forgot the details of that winter. Crops returned. Music resumed. Children laughed. But Kaelen remained unchanged. He sat each evening on his porch, drinking warm tea, watching the mist crawl down the mountainside. He knew something they did not. That peace isn't found in noise or excitement, but in steady steps taken even when nothing stirs. In a world that craves motion, his stillness had changed everything. Though the story of Kaelen may seem simple, its meaning is clear. Sometimes the world becomes too quiet. The days blur, the progress slows, and everything seems paused. It's easy then to believe that movement must be loud, fast, or seen by others. But there is another kind of movement, the kind no one watches. The quiet persistence. The calm continuation. The steady breath. Kaelen teaches us that the journey doesn't demand speed or strength. Only presence. Only the courage to take the next step, even when the path is silent. So, as you rest tonight, carry this with you. Keep moving, even when nothing around you does. For peace is not the absence of challenge, but the quiet resolve to keep going anyway.